Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Scumdogs Kennel. I'm your host, Chris Williams, and we have another great live stream for us to do today, folks. Today, we're going to be listening to Feral Historian and stuff like that. And we're going to have some fun listening to his videos. I thought I'd do something different and have a fun time. And I'll listen to them as I draw. Either way, folks, let's go to share screen. And let's look at, Barbaric Adventures magazine, or at least learn about it. Empire Comics presents Barbaric Adventures 1, the most anticipated comic magazine of 2026, a 64-page square-bound magazine format, 8x5x11, black and white with tonal rendering and bursting at the seams with action. Barbaric Adventures magazine is a throwback to the 1970s black and white magazines like Savage Tales. This first issue includes stories by Aaron Lopresti, David Williams, and Dan Lawless, as well as contributions by Gary Martin and a few more surprises. Aaron Lopresti debuts his new title, Primal Zone, the story of a reluctant hero cast into an interdimensional world of dinosaurs and cavemen. Then David Williams introduces us to the story of a young medieval knight who battles a horde of demons in a quest to become a true warrior. Finally, we have Dan Lawless's book, folks, or story, who takes us to a futuristic Mars where a high-tech society has fallen into savage chaos, and one man leads a rebellion to defeat the corrupt powers that have seized control. Gary Martin also contributes to this project as well, folks, with a bonus preview story, and there's also a bonus preview story by Aaron Lopresti. The stories and art by this talented group is sure to captivate and excite, bring back those fond memories of when Sword and Sorcery magazines ruled the newsstands. All right, folks, here's the Aaron Lopresti cover with his hero, along with a bikini fur-covered maiden battling dinosaurs. Then we have the David Williams cover with his young medieval knight, folks. Then we have the Dan Lawless cover, which is a barbaric extravaganza of violence and gore. We also have basically a Joe Josko cover, folks, which is an extra special, guest artist for this book, folks, with his barbarian maiden killing yetis up in the mountains. Either way, you can back each of these covers individually for $25, folks. That's pretty damn good. That's Barbaric Adventures magazine up on Indiegogo, folks. Please go check it out, and please share this live stream. Now let's go over here, folks, and look at Chinoo 77. Chinoo 77 is 64 blood-soaked pages, written and illustrated by Graham Nolan. Mature audiences, violence, gore, language is included in this book, folks. Now, what is, the Chinoo 77 about? What is it about, folks? Well, he's back, the Chinoo. It's 1977. The storm of the century is paralyzing Buffalo, New York, when trucker Hank Donovan comes across a scene of unimaginable horror. A car stuck in the snow, its occupants shredded to pieces, the only survivor, a newborn baby. Driven by a desperate need for redemption, he vows to protect the infant at any cost. But the snow hides a predator far worse than the storm, the Chinoo, a ravenous creature stalking the blood-soaked drifts, hungry for its next kill. Can Hank outrun his demons and the monster before it claims them both? Well, back this book and find out, folks. You can back it for $25. You have cover A and cover B here. Here's cover A from Compass Comics, folks. Looks pretty good, huh? Here we have trucker Hank Donovan trudging through the snow with the infant, while the monster Chinoo stalks them from behind. Cover B is more or less the same cover here, folks, but it's been done up, or should I say the title has been done up in a 1970s Marvel Comics style, along with a few word bubbles. Now, there's also a Comics King sketch variant as well, folks, in this campaign too. As well as basically this red and black cover too, which is a wraparound. Now these two covers, covers C and D, which is a sketch cover variant in the red and black cover, folks. You can back them in the Ultimate Collector's Box. For $250, folks, get everything this campaign has, and you'll enjoy all of it. Either way, folks, I was hoping a few people would join. either way, not bad. But now let's continue, huh? Doesn't look like we had too many people watching today, folks. I guess it happens. Either way, let's go over here and let's maybe, well, let's see this video, the first video from we're going to be watching today, folks. I thought I'd do something different. Maybe I shouldn't and stuff like that. Either way, I could also basically look at, well, the video we started yesterday, folks, from basically, about our UFOs manifestations of ancient, AI-controlled systems. We can continue where we left off with that. So maybe I'll do that instead. Huh? I mean, yeah. Oh, well, leave a few chats and tell me, folks, if you want to see those videos. But let's continue now. All right. Show this time instead. Yep. Here we go, folks.
I really hope that's not the case, and I would like to think it isn't. But if he is over the target, I can understand why someone would say that. If UAPs are real, 100% they are grown, not manufactured. You mean like 3D printed or something? Or do you think they're like grown as in like they're like biological? Because that's a theory too. People say that these craft are living biology. I challenge Corbell and Bledsoe with the evidence they put out against mine. Okay, Matt Ravas 7151. What's the evidence that you put forward, sir? The MCU, yeah, damn, that's a whole nother part of the law that I've forgotten about. The mobile construction unit in the Atlantic Ocean. I mean, dude, if you watch Jason's video, you know, he doesn't talk about Operation High Jump, but essentially, like, if you follow his video and you can see the threads he's putting together and agree with it, it seems like Operation High Jump and the stories we've been told about it are likely very, very real. You know, to summarize his video, it is essentially that, like, you know, thousands upon thousands of the most important Germans did escape, and they escaped with the best technology that they were working on. And also, like, billions of dollars of money. Billions of dollars of gold and cash, which is just insane. And this is in the 40s. We're talking about billions in the 40s. So, like, what you could do with billions in the 40s, you could do with, like, trillions today. Like, it's, like, enough money to rebuild a civilization, literally. And then you start wondering, like, is there actually tunnels into the inner Earth in Antarctica and even the North Pole? Like, is the Earth like a toroidal type thing with entries at the top and bottom? Is that why planes don't fly there at the top or the bottom? I don't fucking know, dude. I don't know, but I like that theory a lot. Because if the inner Earth is real, it means that all these other things that we hear about, like Eric Davis talking about 4 confirmed non-human intelligences, that's probably where they're from. And it tracks with, like, Native Americans and other tribal cultures from South America talking about, what do they call it? The Munkana Wabu, the ant people. They come from inside the Earth. Dude. I'm fucking creeping myself out here. This shit makes too much sense to me. Anyone else scared in the chat? Good theory. There are entrances all over the place. Yeah. Apparently there's one in Vietnam. Apparently in Vietnam there's the biggest cave system in the world. And only like 6,000 people a year are allowed to go there on, like, expeditions. And it's, like, totally monitored and ticketed. And it's, like, really expensive to do it as well.
Your perfect domain is out there. Go to Wix and make it yours. Claim your space online. Own your name, your brand, your breakthrough.
Let me get, well, I just exited through that commercial, folks. Let's get back to the video, huh?
I'm used to just being scared all the time. Yeah, it's kind of, it does get a bit, it gets like that. The more focus that you apply to these topics and this world, it's hard not to feel that way. at least for me, and like I have no qualms in saying that, like, bro, I've been researching. I know I wouldn't even say researching. I've been interested in this topic for a long time, and I research in my own way of, you know, but I feel like in that I've learned at least enough to know, like, oh, it's not just like cute little aliens coming from Zeta Reticuli that are going to beam me up and we're going to go have a happy life on Sirius B. Like, no, dude. No. It's nothing. No, I don't think that's it at all. It's actually kind of, it's far more likely that it's very fucked up. And I'm laughing when I say that because that I'm just being brutally honest with you guys. It's actually kind of fucked up. I'd rather know what's going on than live dumbed down. Yeah, dude. I don't know, man. Like, maybe, but the thing is, you don't get to know what's going on until you know. And when you know, that's it. You can't change that now. And then what if it's something so fucked up that you can't live a happy life anymore? Do you know what I mean? Like, we hear these, like, you know, presidents weeping, blah, 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 all that kind of stuff. And we still have this, like, hubris of being like, I'd want to know. And, like, I'm not mocking anyone that thinks that, by the way. I mean, I feel like that way at times as well. But then I try to put the shoe on the other foot and be like, okay, but I don't actually know what it is that I want to know. So what if I was told, and then for whatever reason, I just literally am like, what's the point in doing any of this? Like, everything's so fucked. Like, what's the point in having this fucking YouTube channel? It's not going to matter anyway. You know what I mean? It could destroy, like, your will to live in some way. And the thing is, you know, you don't get to find that out until you find it out. And then it's too late to make a decision. So I don't know, man. And I just think about those things because why else is it kept? Why else is this topic treated as something beyond like the Manhattan Project? It's like the most important secret of all time. You know, people seem to like disappear when they talk about these kind of things, like all of this kind of shit, you know? And you could say, oh, they're just evil gatekeepers, Rockefellers, they just want to keep control. And like, look, maybe that is a part of it. But I don't know. I just have this feeling that it runs a bit deeper than that. And it's actually something that would sort of blow people's minds. And by the way, I still think that like, I'm not trying to like advocate here for like, it's better not to know. I still think that there are layers to existence and reality that we could be exposed to, and it might be a shock at first. And then, you know, again, you adapt, right? We adapt to a new world, a new way of living and whatever. But then I think there might even be some things that man isn't meant to know. You know what I mean? We have this sort of like, again, hubris, ignorance, where it's like, we think that we're we are owed everything in some kind of way. Like maybe our place is not at the top. It's somewhere in the middle. And, you know, just got to stay in your lane in some kind of ways. I think about that as well. You got to treat it like entertainment. Attempted Human, I think that's the best. I actually think that's the best super chat of the night, honestly. I need to remind myself of that sometimes as well, because, you know, I'm a deep thinker. I'm an overthinker, if you couldn't tell, by the way. I'm an overthinker. And sometimes that serves as a positive because...
By the way, folks, please share this live stream. So far, we only have a few people watching. Let me go over here, folks. Okay, we have 6. We have 6. We have 11 watching. 12. I don't know about that, folks. Let me go do this real quick. Yeah, 12 people watching, folks. So far, it looks like. Either way, let's continue, huh? Sorry if I'm out of it. I'm just tired, folks.
I feel like, you know, I can like cut through things quickly, like mentally. But then also, you can't really switch it off. And then other times it's kind of like, oh damn, maybe we live in a prison planet where we're being farmed. You know what I mean? That also happens. So the best thing you can do is treat it as entertainment, because at the end of the day, we only know what we know right now, and racking your brain, getting frustrated, or even worrying about a potential future that may not even happen.
This is the most thoughtful gift imaginable for the Lord of the Rings fan. At first, they may seem like simple collectibles, but they're so much more than that. They're a symbol of pride and achievement. To get started, sign up for the Lord of the Rings virtual challenges.
Let me exit through this commercial, folks.
All you're doing is kind of like destroying your own present moment. You know what I mean? So entertainment's the best way to go. And that honestly is why from day one, I've tried to do it the way that I've done it on this channel, which is to cover these like weird things, but have fun with it. Is to just try to have fun and have a good time, because, you know, what else are you going to do? Cry about it? Come on, bro. Monkey Sausage says, we can't handle the truth. Ooh, Monkey Sausage. I don't know if people are going to like that, because I feel like there definitely is a lot of people out there who think that they can. And, I probably think, again, it's a hard one to answer, because you don't know what it is until you get to know. And then you got to figure out if you can handle it or not. But I would like to think that I can too. I think I can handle the truth as well. All right, let me catch up on a couple here. Ephra says, missing scientist story is bullshit. No one is in control. Okay, I guess Neil McCaslin just he's just doing a prank on us. He's on an episode of Punked. Just Kelly with 5 gifted memberships. Kelly, you're a gem. Thank you very, very much. Appreciate you guys. Let's get some love in the chat for the 5 new weirdos that have just joined the compound. And David with $50. That's a big super chat, David. Thank you. He says, check out Patrick Jackson's book, The Sphere Network. He claims to have discovered the control system on our planet. I am aware of that book, David. I haven't read it, but I've seen Patrick Jackson speak a few times, so I am familiar with what his theory is. And yeah, I mean, that's definitely a good piece of, it's a good data point towards that argument that this system may predate a lot of what we consider to be like, our technological evolution. And I think part of that is the peer-reviewed paper that was released recently showing transients appearing on these plates that were pre-Sputnik, so pre-satellite era. There were things showing up on images of the sky, and lots of them. And then only a couple of years later, we apparently decided to test nukes in high altitude. Like, that's a fucking extremely crazy thing to do, to just be like, you know what? See this thing that absolutely created the biggest devastation of a country in the history of civilization? What'll happen if we just launch it up there and blow it up too? Like, that's the most irresponsible fucking crazy shit really ever. But they did that. They did that. So I think rather than thinking we're just insane apes with nukes and thinking like, what the fuck would happen if we just blew one up there? It would make way more sense if they saw these transients on these plates in the 40s and were like, what the fuck? It seems like there are these things all around us. Why don't we fucking try and knock one down? That makes way more sense. And, that sort of early, that sort of mid to late 40s era, which is also paperclip, bringing the Nazis over, seeing what they'd been working on, blah, 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 blah. Maybe that was also, in conjunction with discovering the veracity of the reality of the situation here on Earth, and that they're dealing with something that is ancient, that is far more powerful. And that's why maybe that's part of why you don't want to disclose, because you are basically saying yeah, you guys thought we were in charge. You thought we were the top dogs. We're actually not. There's something else, so that kind of renders them obsolete in some ways. And why would any business want to do that? That's kind of like if I sold microphones and everyone was buying my microphone, but I knew that there was a way better microphone here, but no one knew where the shop was. And I said, guys, I know you're all buying my microphones and you think they're great, but there's actually a shop around the corner. Their microphones, they do 8D audio. I can't do that. They do 8D audio. Best sound you've ever heard. Actually, why the fuck would I do that? Just ruin my own business? No one's going to do that. And I think that's possibly in some way what government disclosure would be like, by saying we're not in charge. So instead, government disclosure seems like there are threats. There are threats, and maybe there is threats. I think we've talked about the idea that what if the reverse engineering programs, what if the reason for their secrecy is not just to keep it from us, but to keep it from whatever it is they're reverse engineering them from, because they realize that that entity or intelligence is manipulating humanity, maybe into war. As you know, that's exactly what Tom DeLonge said, right? When Tom DeLonge referenced the others, he said that the others are manipulating certain countries, and he didn't name which countries, but he said that they are manipulating countries, and these countries don't realize that they're being manipulated by the others and into being in war. And then this intelligence is feeding off of the negative emotion, which some people would call loosh. In my opinion, basically the same things, which is crazy, right? To also think about that like a country might not realize that they're being manipulated. So is that like, is it what, the same kind of thing we were talking about before? Quiet weapons, algorithms, digital propaganda, things put in front of you to like elicit specific emotions and then like weaponize your new belief and your framework that has been built on the things that have been subtly placed in front of you. Like everything you think is like your own sovereign thoughts and beliefs is actually like quietly engineered. It's like, no, you were programmed that way. You know what I mean? Maybe I need to go to a hospital. D-Doob, thank you very much for becoming a member. I appreciate you. All right, let's get into the next clip here. What do we got? This is okay, this is a really good one. We might pause it a little bit because it's okay, we'll try not to, but Rogan are pretty hard with the copyrights. This was a part in the conversation, and if anyone's seen the conversation, I feel like you're probably thinking the same thing. Diana Pasulka is trying to explain to Joe Rogan about how the German Horten wing looks very similar to what Kenneth Arnold saw in the initial UFO sighting in 1947, where the term flying saucer came from. What he actually saw was sort of like a boomerang shape. And she's trying to say that the Germans had that. And Joe Rogan's going, no, they didn't. No way, no way. And she can't remember the name. I'm sitting here going, Horten wing, Horten goddamn wing. They eventually figured it out. But this is that clip because there's a couple of good nuggets from it.
That is what Kenneth Arnold says he saw.
Yeah.
That's totally different.
Yeah.
Like whatever the fuck that is crazy. And he saw that thing skipping across the sky.
Okay, wait a minute, Jamie. If you
So
can keep going,
that's
and
the
looking
idea
for it.
that our best shit.
It's HO something.
Okay, the idea that our best shit is propeller planes, but yet we also have these things with no visible means of propulsion that are all flying at 1,000 miles an hour or whatever it was, several thousand miles an hour.
Couldn't have been quiet either.
Right. Yeah, it's just weird. If you go back far enough, it doesn't make sense that there's superior technology that's not being utilized ubiquitously across the entire military.
Well, I think that.
And again, that's like, well, that depends on like what your framework is, right? Because, what do you think is going on with UFOs? That was rude of Joe. Oh, dude, I have to say, I like Joe Rogan, but dude, that motherfucker woke up on the wrong side of the bed in this interview. He was like pushing back on everything and cutting her off and, just didn't really seem like very receptive to what she was speaking about. And obviously Diana Pasulka is like the sweetest, intelligent, kind, softly spoken lady. And it was kind of jarring. And if you read the comments on the podcast, everyone is kind of like, what the fuck's up with Joe today? I don't know. But anyway, again, it depends what your framework is here, right? Because Joe is sort of assuming, and I think some people do think of it this way, is that like UFOs are like, it's our tech. Like, why wouldn't have we used this tech in the war if we had this tech back then? Like, it doesn't make sense. And it's like, well, when we say our tech, are we talking about like the military, or are we talking about some kind of like broken away civilization that has somehow classified a area of physics and made people who begin to independently discover it disappear? Or is this like more of an ancient lineage of humans that have overseen humanity for a long time? Like, these are also on the table, I think. I don't know what the answer is. Maybe these things were just German planes. Like, that does seem kind of likely. But Joe's like puzzled on the fact that, I mean, like, if they're ours, why didn't we use them? But I don't know. I think it's a little bit deeper than that.
Most likely, if they have something that they want. Okay, so this is again speculation, right?
Right.
I don't know. I entertained the idea.
This is 80 years ago.
No, I know that. I entertained the possibility that they had some pretty amazing stuff.
I don't.
Okay.
I don't.
right.
I just don't think that's possible. I
And
don't.
that we still have.
Dude, so close-minded. So close-minded. These clips are sped up, by the way. But yeah, this is what I mean. Just pushing back on her, like not even really letting her cook.
It, and that's what.
Maybe today. I would say in 2026, 80 years later, with all the technological advancement, maybe there's some crazy shit that they have today, and I bet there is. Like, look at this thing.
This is a German bomber. From
There,
World War
that
II.
is, yeah.
Whoa!
That's what I'm
I was
saying.
just like that
All right,
thing.
you got to
Is that
believe me.
real? But that's just a
Jamie, you're a
drawing.
witness. No, that's
But that's not. Is that a photograph?
No, they have a photograph of those. I am not
I'm
kidding
just
you.
sticking with
Okay.
you. I was trying to just start with that. No
Yeah,
problem.
yeah.
So look at that upper left-hand corner. It says secret Nazi UFO.
Yeah.
But are
They
these
had that then.
photographs?
Yes, they're
That's a
photographs.
I mean,
photograph.
it could
Yeah.
be AI, but it's
That's cool. That's earful, isn't it, folks? And very, very, very hard on them, isn't it? Once again, I'm sorry for basically not being the most peppy today, folks. I'll get back to our regular pattern soon enough. But let me go over here real quick, folks. Let's see if any more people have joined us. Okay, folks, we have 4. Well, that's 6 or so. Maybe I'll just get back to drawing, huh?
No, it's not.
I'm just to be.
Okay, well, what does it say up there? It says a Horton
Yeah, the
Ho
Horton. Yeah,
229, a
that's
German
right.
prototype,
Yeah.
plane from 1945.
So
Only
literally,
3 were
this,
built.
see, I'm telling you, Joe, this looks exactly like Arnold's
It does.
UFO.
It really does.
Okay, thank
It's
you,
a
thank you.
jet-powered flying wing craft. That, looks,
So that's
that
what I'm
literally looks
saying.
exactly like
So
it.
if I'm right about that, then you should like listen to my speculations.
Right, but how fast?
Tell him, Diana. Tell him, Diana. Maybe you should listen to my speculations, because this guy didn't want to know. It's sped up too much. I apologize. I think you can still get the gist of what they're talking about. But honestly, it's a great reason to watch the whole thing, because it really is it's a fantastic conversation from start to finish.
How fast did this go?
All right.
Wow.
And I want to say, even though Joe was like pushing back and kind of coming off a little bit rude, he actually was still asking like really good questions. So, and that's why I think it's a great conversation.
So he saw these information. So we were most likely doing something with those. What?
So
the
you
United
mean
States.
the United States? So you think that we had acquired that
We
technology?
did. We acquired it. We were utilizing it.
Right. So
Yeah.
Operation Paperclip, we brought over a bunch
Yeah,
of these
that's
Nazi
right.
scientists. And so you think that what he saw was these Nazi crafts
Yeah. So
that they had.
yes, I think so. But that doesn't take out a lot of weirdness about it, because he also had a lot of very strange anomalous experiences, Men in Black experiences, paranormal experiences.
Kenneth Arnold did?
Yeah. So
Really?
and to him, he interpreted this as being religious.
That's crazy. Hey, I didn't. Did you guys know about the Kenneth Arnold? Having Men in Black and anomalous encounters after the UFO sighting. I'd never heard that. I have no idea. I'm just trusting Diana on this, which I do. But that's crazy. That really is. And that clip there talking about, that like the Germans had this, the Americans might have had this stuff post-war. It actually fits in.
Guys, if you're still balding in 2026, what are you doing? There's an easy
Let me get through this commercial, folks. Let me skip it.
With what Jason Somoza outlined in his latest video yesterday or today, on how that happened and the reality of it. And like the reality of it is kind of shocking. It really is. She burned Joe. I mean, it seemed like a respectful conversation at the end of the day. Like, I mean, even when Joe was pushing back, she was very, kind and polite, and she held it all together well. So if anything, Joe just kind of came off as a little bit abrupt or whatever, but no, it doesn't ruin the conversation. You know what I mean? It's still a really good podcast, 100%. Solka is 110% in the cult, unfortunately. Now, I don't know if I agree with that, actually. And I'm not just defending her because I like her. I'm defending her because she has kind of publicly distanced herself from it. In fact, she was meant to be at Contact in the Desert this year, and then super last minute didn't. like canceled. Now I don't know why that was, but my immediate instinct told me that she, I don't know, didn't want to be involved in that. I don't know. I could be wrong, but she doesn't talk to like any of those people anymore, at least based on what she said publicly. So I don't know. She's pretty candid. Like she's pretty open about who she's talking to and like what kind of things she's working on, and the times that she has felt people were using her to like push a certain narrative or put a specific something in her book. So I don't know. She definitely doesn't strike me as like a cult-like figure. Not at all. Where are we? Losing my shit. Okay. Sorry about that. Amateur hour tonight. Guys, remember, slap a like on the video if you're enjoying it. And after the show today, we are going to be watching Steven Spielberg's AI in Discord. The link is below. It's free. Doesn't cost money to watch. You can just come and hang out in Discord and we'll be screening that one. Josh, I'm definitely going to see you on August 13th in San Francisco. Hell yes, Yvonne. Yep, we're doing 3 dates on the It's Probably Nothing tour, Tucson, San Francisco, LA. Get tickets. I think they are approaching capacity at this point. It's going to be a good time. I'm looking forward to it. It's coming up very, very soon now. When I say Lewis is disingenuous, Diana is the complete opposite of that. Yeah, I feel that, DTP. If we're talking about like vibes, I totally agree. Because I don't know what it is about Lou. It's like when he talks, it's like this is the best way I can explain it. When Lou talks, it's like you're not being you. Like you're not just being who Lou is and just speaking from the heart. You're like speaking with this like a facade. You're speaking through a facade, and it feels like a show. Not like an entertainment show, but it's like you're putting on this image. You're speaking in this specific way so you come across in a certain way. It's kind of hard to really put into words because you're kind of trying to like put like a feeling into words, but it just doesn't feel authentic. That's probably the best word to say. Whereas, yeah, she is the complete opposite of that. She's just honest and genuine. And like I've said, I would much rather, no one knows everything, right? And no one is right all the time. And I'm okay with that. And I would way rather listen and sort of follow and put my trust in someone who's genuine, because then even if they make a mistake and get something wrong, I don't feel like they were trying to like wrong me or like deceive me. You know what I mean? Especially if they like open about it and like, yeah, I was wrong. It was actually this, whatever. Like that's just humans, right? It's just human nature. So I would much rather be around people like that than someone who's like speaking in riddles and, dodging this and dodging that and can't tell me this and can't tell me that, but dangling this carrot of like, but if only if only I could tell you what I know, man, what I know is crazy. Nah, I'm good, bro. I think I'm good. She wants us all to run down the CIA disclosure PSYOP. Nah, Bradley, I'm assuming you haven't watched the podcast because I don't think you would have that opinion if you actually watched the whole thing. You should watch it, man. What sucks is the most real deal honest people like that are more easily manipulated. Yeah, dude, I actually would agree with that. And I feel like I've even been a victim of that at times as well, because honest people, to their detriment, generally naturally assume that everyone else is honest. And you soon learn that that's not the case. And I guess that's like a process of like refining your discernment and like learning like, damn, the world ain't sunshine and rainbows. And, I think a lot of the things that are like maybe glamorized, or the things that you are maybe brought up to like idolize or chase, I feel like when you start getting close to those things or getting around those things, you start to feel like, damn, I don't know about that. It's got a bit of a weird energy to it.
When is the best time to eat breakfast? What you eat for breakfast and when you eat it determines whether your body burns fat.
Still a mindfuck, even at 59. Yep, it never ends. It never ends, Kelly. And you know, to go off on that, and I guess this is kind of going to the Ra material a little bit, the law of one. It's like, well, maybe that's a mechanism, right? Like, could humans actually evolve? Could consciousness evolve if it wasn't stimulated? So like friction is kind of a requirement in our life to propel forward. Like you sort of need something to stimulate growth and evolution. Otherwise you remain stagnant. I think that's a really big one. And there's a lot of comfort in that, I think, when I think about that and why the world is the way that it is. I think it's a really good thing to lean on. And it allows you to just sort of like let go a little bit. If you can realize that like maybe that isn't meant to be like total peace on the world. Like there's always meant to be something, and the point is to learn how to like coexist and how to adapt and how to evolve out of it. That would make sense. Because if there's no stimulus, how or why would something change or evolve? It wouldn't. It's like it's a requirement for evolution in some way. I've missed a lot of the live streams lately. Hope the states are treating you well. Thank you very much. It is treating me beautifully. Yep. Only a couple weeks left to go. It's been a wild ride. It really has. I've loved it. I can't wait to be home with my dog though. Absolutely. Counting down the days. Polarity is necessary for existence. Yep. It absolutely is. Yin and yang. Yep. The tale as old as time. Does the law of one require one to choose between being good or being evil in our lifetime? No, it talks about basically you choose a path that is service to self. Excuse me. We had a beer down at the water before I went live, and I think it's coming up. The law of one requires, what doesn't require, but it basically says the human path is essentially to choose to be of service to self or of service to others. And I think service to self generally comes off as like, you know, selfish or negative. And obviously that is where most of the negative would lie, but it's not necessarily just that, I don't think. Like service to self can also be a positive in its own way. But yeah, that's kind of the outline path in the law of one. And it's for humans as a collective. So like we all make an individual choice on how we want to live our life, service to self or service to others. And then I guess that creates a collective. Like, has 80% of the planet been, you know, propagandized or subtly engineered to sort of believe and act and behave in a way that is of service to self? And now we just have this like very like selfish, self-fulfilling society that just kind of like thrives on fucked up shit? Or do we have a high percentage of service to others? And I think like obviously you want to have, actually I think it says in the law of one that they call it like what do they call it? Like a harvest? I think they call it a harvest, which is a weird word, but I think that's what they call it. Or maybe a graduation, maybe both. But they talk about it, there's a point where like humanity enters the age of like graduation or harvest. And basically to go to the next stage of evolution, you need like collectively, you need to be in like a 60%-ish of like service to others, being a society that is of service to others. Not quite sure where we're at. I think we need to get Ashtar of the Federation to take the census, the 2026 human census data, and we'll see what the statistics say. But if I had to guess, I feel like it'd be quite in the balance. Be a bit of a 50-50 thing going on right now. My whole life revolves around serving others. Kids don't give you a choice. They always need something. I look after myself as well, though. That's good, Heather. That's important. I think it's great to be of service to others, but I also think there's times in your life where you need to put yourself first as well. But I think it's a balance. It's like everything, right? You're missing the census this year, Josh? Oh, what a shame. In fact, I don't know if I've ever done the census. I don't know. It doesn't ring a bell to me. I've probably got 40 fines waiting for me. Those possessed by ideas or spirits serve themselves. Only those who possess themselves can serve others in any meaningfully helpful way. Those possessed by ideas or spirits serve themselves. What if, but like, can't a spirit be positive? I mean, is a spirit, like to me, when I think of a spirit, it can either be like good or bad, which, you know, if you're a Christian or a Catholic or whatever, you could say it's an angel or a demon. So I think.
All right, to turn the 1200 on, there's just one button right here. You just push it once. Screen turns on for you. Here's all your information. There's your battery charge level, your time until empty. You'll even get the wattage readings of input and output. Here's the solar input. So you'll plug the solar panel in right here and that'll start charging the generator. This is your AC input. So this comes with a cord. You can plug that cord into the wall and recharge it using the regular standard wall outlet if you have electricity. So it can be ready to go. It'll actually hold a full charge for up to.
I think people can be possessed. Like, I'm neither of those things, but I do think that there is something that can like possess people, for lack of a better word. And it can be in a good or bad way. And I think by doing certain things, you open yourself up to those energies, to those spirits. Like people who like take a lot of drugs, do like sort of like dark and like really live in a very like hedonistic way, or even do like fucked up shit. You're obviously opening yourself up for like dark stuff to kind of like take hold of you. But I also think if you are like of service to others, you probably like, you know, I don't know. Someone who's doing good stuff all the time and trying to live positive and looks after their body, all that kind of stuff. Like, are you going to be imbued with like some kind of positive energy that helps propel you in like a good direction? Because I would say, actually, no, that's not accurate for everyone. But a lot of people, a lot of creators that are successful, they're never like, you know, gossiping or worried about other people or like whinging, and you know what I mean? Like, they're generally positive people. Like, they're living positively, they're doing good things. And it's like, well, are you happy because you were successful, or were you successful because you sort of found a way to be happy? I actually think it's the latter. I think, again, not in all cases, because like undoubtedly, I think to get like mega rich, you probably have to be like an asshole, right? To be like a billionaire, you probably have to be like a sociopath or something. I don't know. But like just normal people who have like done well for themselves. I think a lot of the time you see these people that they're happy, and it's kind of like, well, no, you're not happy because you're successful. You probably got that success because you're happy. And then it just compounds on itself. Most cases, I'd say yes, usually both. I love that metaphor, Serp. I missed it. Where's Serp's metaphor? You get the blue shell on the final lap of life. I like it. I like it. Jess Kelly says service to others is service to self. Oh, Kelly. That might be another contender for greatest super chat of the show. I like that one. Beautifully said. Thank you very much. Service to others is service to self. 100%. Because I think like most of us would agree that it actually feels good to be good, right? And like what I mean by is like doing something nice for someone, helping them out, putting a smile on their face, even if it's something little. Like, you get this feeling of like, oh, I made them feel good. I did something nice that like I didn't have to do that, but I did, and it made their day. Now I feel good. It's like, well, what is that? What is that feeling that has like imbued me? Like something about doing a positive action that had a positive effect has imbued me with a positive feeling. Now I feel better. Like, that's probably really fucking important when you think about how do you live your life. Because again, you could look at the other way and be like, I just I don't know. I don't even want to say it, but like, I just did some really like nasty fucked up shit that I wouldn't want to tell people about. And now I feel like shit. And now I actually just want to keep doing more fucked up shit, because that's just kind of like where I am right now. You know what I mean? It kind of like perpetual spirals into this like dark motion. And so it's like, what is that? The way that you're acting is imbuing you with like something. And to go back to what I was saying before and my theory, like I think that whatever you do, not just one action, the same way it's like, oh, I've been eating fucking In-N-Out for the last 3 months in America. I've put on 10 pounds. Well, I just had a salad for dinner. Why aren't I skinny yet? It's like, well, no, it doesn't work like that. You've got to eat 3 months of salads now. You know what I mean? Like, it's not just one thing. It's about what you do consistently. And I think, again, you put that into your actions. If you're doing the right thing consistently, you're probably going to feel better. If you're being a terrible person, you're probably going to feel like shit. 10 pounds. Let's be real, Josh. Look, I was trying to give you freedom measurements because I know most of my free folk are here right now. But what is that? What is 10 pounds? Like 5 kilos? I actually haven't weighed myself. It'd be a bit more than 5 kilos. I wouldn't, definitely not 10 though. It's not been that bad. It's not been that bad. It's probably about, I want to weigh myself now. I'd say maybe about 6 to 7 kilos, I reckon. We'll drop that quick. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. That'll go real quick. Rob Stewart with 15 months. Damn, Rob, that's a long time, my bro. Thank you very much, man. He says, I'm just here for the shits and giggles. I appreciate it, man. I'm glad that most of you guys love just having a good time and are just down to hang out.
Stop watching this ad. Go to Wix and grab your domain name before someone else does. Because great names don't wait, and neither should you. Don't just name it, claim it on Wix Domains. Still here?
And
sorry, folks, about the commercial and stuff like that. Trying to draw here and stuff like that. Either way, let me do this. Okay, folks, we have how many people watching today? Yeah, 4, I guess. So we have 11. Yeah, 11. 14. 15. 16. Okay. We have that much, folks. That's not too bad. Let's continue, huh?
Sift through the weirdness. Aaron Abke would be a great guest, Josh. Mark Wheeler, 605. Aaron Abke would be a fantastic guest. I looked into a little bit of his stuff when I was doing the Law of One series. And then I think when I was flying somewhere a bit more recently, I listened to him on Acid for Squares, I think it was. And I was like, I was in, sometimes you put on a podcast and it doesn't really grab you. That one had me. I was in the whole way. Really liked him. But that's the most I've really heard from him. So on that note, he would be a good guest. Guys, I've actually collated a huge list of guests that I would like to have on the channel when I get back home. So once I am back home, I'm intending for the podcast sort of series to be a bit more regular again. Huge list. Aaron Abke isn't on it, but he will be if and when I remember. Absolutely. That's what it's all about. That's right, Krista. Here for a good time, not a long time, baby. I'm a Canadian and I can't estimate kilos, but I can estimate pounds. Damn. Crazy, huh? Why did they have to do that? Why did they have to do that? Is that why America is so fat, the portion size? The portions here are very big. I think it is that. I think it's maybe an abundance of fast food options. Like, dude, in Australia, there's like what? Macca's, Hungry Jack's, which is like Burger King, KFC, Subway, Domino's. They're kind of like your staples. That are like, that's like the main ones. Here, they have like 15 main ones. Like there's just an abundance of choice. And I don't know, maybe it's like a cultural thing too, But yeah, very generous on the portions. Yeah, and I think probably just cultural. And unfortunately, it's cheaper to eat that stuff as well. Dude, In-N-Out is so cheap. Can't believe it. In-N-Out is like, I don't know, under $15 for a meal, Australian. Under 15 Australian for a meal. Whereas like if you want to go eat something nice and healthy, it's like definitely more than that. Did you get plenty of barbecue, Josh? I wouldn't say plenty, but I did have my fair share, and delicious. Delicious. You can't beat a Buc-ee's pulled brisket burger though. They call it the Big Buckin' Brisket. It's my favorite. Andy, thank you very much for the 5 gifted, brother. Appreciate that a lot, man. Thank you for all the support. All right. Should we what do we got here? We have another clip. We do have another clip. I'm fat, lol. Canada is Team America. And I mean, if Canada's Team America, Australia is like, I don't know, spend less shoes America. I mean, only Australians will understand that reference, but it is, yeah, just a cheap knockoff, baby. All right, let's go to the next one. This is the next clip here. We're talking about, this is going into the whole belief thing, okay? And this kind of, you know, builds on what we've been talking about tonight, about like the power of belief, something I've talked about a lot on the channel, actually, and that weaponizing belief could be the strongest form of propaganda. Again, so like who's doing this? Is it an AI? Is it shady governments that want to push people in a certain way? Anyway, I'll shut up and let Diana explain it.
All right. So one of the things that I came to like understand was that a couple of people told me about this, and it was nothing that they intended to tell me, by the way, but I asked. So, you know, Tyler was doing this reverse engineering type of thing. He's trying to find people to help him with this. And he would have what he thought were or alleged UFO debris that he had found at various places, like in New Mexico and so forth. And then what he had to do was he had to get together a group of engineers that could actually reverse engineer it. And he would tell them, he wouldn't say, this is a UFO or this is, you know, something from the desert. No, he would say, this is China's or this is Russia's. And we need, in order to keep our, you know, dominance or whatnot, we need to get this reverse engineered pronto. And that,
I mean, China were all over the Epstein files. I don't know how we didn't figure out that this stuff was China's earlier. It's crazy that we've only just figured this out.
this lie would then motivate these guys, okay? And that they would reverse engineer this and he would come up with something, okay? So later on, I would listen to Hal, and Hal would give these talks. Hal Puthoff, by the way, who's one of the people that is interested in UFOs and knows a lot about them. And so he gave this talk at the inaugural Seoul conference, and I was there. And so I was listening to him, and to me, it sounded like what he was saying was exactly what Tyler was saying. That he was saying, we have this, you know, but we don't actually know how to do this, how to back engineer this. So we're going to give it to this talented group of people, and we're going to tell them that this was already made, but a non-ally, like an enemy, had it. So basically, by telling them this, they would then, like, in a sense, do kind of like a trick on their minds, and they would actually reverse engineer it. They would reverse engineer something that he said already existed. So in a sense, it was like not only working with time in a weird way, or like kind of like, you know, projecting what was going to be in the future, telling them it already had been done. So that made me think, this is like the propaganda that I'm talking about, and that you just started to talk about. Like
weaponizing people's belief in the sense of like, if I told you that like this was made from aliens of another planet, figure out how it's going to work, in your head, you're already kind of like maybe defeatist. Like there's like an element of being like defeated, because it's like, well, something beyond us from another star system, far more superior. This is their tech. How could we do this? But if you tell them, they say, no, man, the Germans did this. Like, what, you're going to get beaten by those fucking Germans? You think you can't?
Every act of faith leaves an imprint. Every offering blesses lives. This is the journey of your gift. Your gift becomes nourishment for the hungry, a lifeline for Holocaust survivors in Israel.
You can't figure out something that the Germans could figure out? No, of course they're going to be like, all right, we'll figure out how this shit works. And yeah, it's like a placebo effect. Exactly, man. And well, actually, I'll let her say it because she touches on it.
If we could then, on a mass scale, tell people that we have something, or this is the case, maybe there would be a critical, like, mental construct, and people would actually do something, rise to the occasion, or something like that. That could have been propaganda for the space race, right? That could have been like the moon landing stuff. Like, you know, I'm not saying that didn't happen, by the way. I'm saying that.
Are you, Diana? Are you saying that didn't happen?
You know, part of it was a way to get Americans to win the space race. We had to already believe that we won it, right? In order to create this stuff, we already have to believe that someone else created it.
What do you mean by that? Like, what was their tech? What was?
That's crazy, right? So, I've, you know, if the moon landing was fake, I believe that, you know, all the footage of the people in the control rooms, all of that, you know, they're not all in on it. It's not like everyone's in on it. It's like the opposite. It's like everyone thought it was real. This was like this because that's important. That's what it's about. It's about making all of these people believe that this is happening. And it's not just about tricking the public. It's about creating this sense of like huge uplifted morale, like crazy positive belief that we can accomplish. We can do this. And so...
All right, folks. I wish I had done a better live stream. Wish I had more people watching, but it wasn't bad. We got this, and I can start, working in the buildings now. But I guess I could live stream a bit longer, but I don't think I will. I'm tired and I don't feel good. I'll get back to a regular streaming pattern tomorrow, hopefully, and do a better live stream than what I've been doing. Sorry about today's live stream, folks. We only had a few people watching, but hey, it occasionally happens. Either way, thank you for those who did come here, folks. I mean, in fact, let me see if any more people have joined us. Okay, we have 8. We have 11. 8, 11. Yeah. Okay, we have 15 people watching, folks. 16, 17 people watching. That's not that bad, is it? Isn't it, folks? Either way, we're at the end. So let me do my normal spiel now, huh? As I said, I don't feel good, and I'm a bit tired today. So, which I'm pretty sure you can tell from the way I'm acting. Please go subscribe to my YouTube channel. Read Comics Are Bad. Yeah. Please use the links down below or in the descriptions. Go subscribe to my YouTube channel. Read Comics Are Bad for You, okay? Remember, the there in the title is misspelled because they misspelled the title, or I should say I misspelled the part of the name, basically there. It's just there, just a regular there. It's supposed to be there. Hit that like button for me. Make sure you're still subscribed. Leave some comments down below. Hit that bell for notifications, folks. Hit the part of the bell that'll give you all future notifications. And please share this video out. Now, folks, please go over and subscribe to Dark Sayings on YouTube and on BitChute. Dark Sayings is like the Art Bell radio show. If you like my show or Art Bell's old radio show, you're going to love Dark Sayings. He does short videos on High Strangeness, but he also does live streams around 10 o'clock at night. Well, they're very much like parties, folks. You see they live stream and they have fun, and it's just fun watching them, folks. Now, go subscribe to Dark Sayings on YouTube and on Twitch. You can use the links down below to subscribe to his YouTube channel. All right. Oh, actually, subscribe to his BitChute channel, I should say, folks. As I said, I'm out of it today. You can see how out of it I am. I'm talking slow and I'm a little insane. Now, folks, also, please go over and subscribe to, Robot Co-op. Robot Co-op is a live streaming gaming channel, folks, hosted by the crew of Robot Co-op. They play good games, they play bad games, but the whole show, folks, is basically a dedication and homage to Mystery Science Theater 3000 and stuff like that. Either way, they have voice-cracking robots in the show, and they play video games, and they have fun playing them, and it's just fun to watch. So go subscribe to Robot Co-op on YouTube and on Twitch. Then go subscribe to Stitched Together Picks. Stitched Together Picks is a horror movie review channel hosted by the maniacal Sandfile, who has multiple personalities. You aren't just getting one character; you're getting a whole lot of them. All of them are fun. All right, folks, remember, down in the descriptions or in the chat, I left links. I left links to YouTube, Twitter, Rumble, Odyssey, Twitch, or BitChute, Dark Sayings, Robot Co-op, and Stitched Together Picks. Remember, if I do upload videos today, folks, one video will be up on YouTube, Rumble, Odyssey, Twitch, and BitChute as an exclusive, and the other video will be up on, Rumble, Odyssey, Twitch, and BitChute itself, okay? Now, that didn't come out right, did it? The exclusive video will be up on Rumble, Odyssey, Twitch, or BitChute. I got it confused there. While the main video will be up on YouTube, Rumble, Odyssey, Twitch, or BitChute. I'm so insane, folks. I'm so tired. I didn't get any sleep last night. I just stayed up the entire night once again and screwed up. That's why I'm sounding so drunk here, folks. Now, What else is there? Yeah. Remember as well, folks, I'm going to, well, go over to Indiegogo and check out the, well, and check out my pre-launch page, Scumdog's Second Chance Campaign. You can sign up for it, okay? So please do so, because Scumdogs, my book, is a loving parody of 80s and 90s cartoons, folks, and stuff like that, and you're going to love it. As you watch the Wild Rangers fight their arch enemies, the Scumdogs, in an epic battle of stupidity, okay? So go over to Indiegogo and check out Scumdog's Second Chance Campaign now. Remember, I will also do pages for my book up on Fund My Comic Book and Kickstarter, so look for those pages too when they're available. Now, also remember, folks, I'm going to unlist this live stream. You can keep watching the YouTube live stream and stuff like that, but once it's unlisted, there's a good chance you won't be able to watch it anymore and stuff like that. But don't worry. But don't worry, folks, it will still be available on Rumble, Odyssey, Twitch, or BitChute. So use those links and go subscribe to me. I'm Chris Williams from the Scumdogs Kennel. Thank you all for joining me. I'll be back again tomorrow with another great live stream, followed by 2 more great videos. So make sure to come back again then. Until next time, folks, I'll see you all again soon. So bye. As I said, a good live stream, folks, but not my best. Let's see. Any more people joining us today, folks? Yeah, about 18 people, 19 people watching. Not my best live stream, but not my worst.